Hey, morning. Dan Blackburn here. Hey, this is a message to coaches, parents, teachers, youth leaders. Look, our youth right now are under an enormous amount of strain and pressure. It's unrelenting. I mean, I deal with it every day. I've been dealing with it for 20 years, and I've seen how it's changed. It's not, I won't say it's any bigger or badder. It's just different now. There's different tools, there's different resources that youth have access to, which is both a good and a bad thing. And so our job as leaders is to take our eyes off of the barometer of the old scoreboard, you know, the marks in the classroom, the scoreboard on the at the end of the game, you know, how well you do in a certain test category, how well you do against your peer group, and I think analytics are important. But what you can't measure is the human element. You know, they say Tom Brady, I mean, he ranks so poorly in all his performance metrics in the NFL Combine, but what they couldn't measure, and you talk to other Hall of Famers who've played against him, and they say what you couldn't measure inside Tom Brady was this fire inside of him, right? And the confidence that he got from his parents, from the people that he loved, that stoked that fire. And when he met Robert Kraft for the first time, Robert Kraft said, well, you know, you're our, you know, our 6th or 7th round draft pick. And Tom Brady shook his hand and he said, yeah, this is the best decision this organization has ever made. And that's all about confidence and the ability to bring that fire from within and share it out there in the world. And that needs to be, I'm challenging you, because I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm challenging you. Make that be your focus as a coach, as a leader, as a fucking parent. Stop worrying about what the Joneses are doing. Stop worrying about what the other kids are doing in your son or daughter's class, or how well she's performing or he's performing on his respective team, or playing the clarinet, or, you know, jumping jacks, or in the chat, whatever it is that they do. Stop comparing them to other people and find that fire, that thing that lights them up. Maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's a book, maybe it's just something that's so, in your opinion, so small and insignificant, but to them it means the world to them. Like, tap into that, build confidence in that, and watch how it stokes their fire. And it's not just about stoking their fire for that sport or for that thing or for that classroom or that presentation. I'm talking about when you stoke their fire, you stoke the fire of who they are as people, as young men, as young women, so that they can go out in the world and they can face the challenges, the struggles. Look, I'm recording all the time, and I'm talking to youth all the time. I'm getting comments, I'm getting DMs, I'm getting messages all the time about the struggle and strain that the athletes, that these young men, these young women, these students are under. So if you don't think that your son or daughter is going through their respective challenge in this moment, if you don't think that your athletes, that the youth that you're leading aren't going through some challenge, some struggle, then you're living in the clouds, man. Because it's happening. In fact, maybe you need to look a little deeper at your stuff. Right? The reality is, as parents, as leaders, when I can walk the walk, it's amazing how I build a path for those to follow. And so I know when I'm doing my work, when I'm being honest and real, when I'm talking about my struggles, when I'm dealing with my struggles, when I'm stepping up in my life the best way that I can, it's amazing how the youth around me, they know their intuition is bigger, is better. We all had that intuition at some point. We got older, we gave up on it. But the youth, they still have that intuition. It's incredible. They know. They can see and read, and more importantly, feel between the lines. And so, as a leader, whatever role, whatever hat you put on, I want you to make your focus be to build confidence. And that starts with finding out, what does your child, your athlete, your student, what fires them up? Like, what's that thing that gets to them? And then once you find it, nurture the shit out of it. That's your fucking job, is to nurture the shit out of it. And I don't care how tired you are. I don't care if the government has a larger classroom size and you can't, you know, it's so hard, or because, you know, you're working so hard and you can't, you know, you're coaching the guys, you don't have time. If that's the fucking reality, then quit what you're doing. Quit what you're doing and go find something else, because these kids are relying on you. There's no time to say that you're tired, or that you just don't feel like it, or that the system has you beaten down, or that you're taking a stand. That's bullshit. These kids, these youth are standing there with a belief in their mind, a belief in their soul that you're going to stand with them, that you're going to stand for them. And see, the reality is when you do that, whatever you choose, you start to build a belief system in these youth. So if you stand up and you're strong, you're starting to teach them that, yeah, you know what, there are people that are there for them. But if you buckle, if you give in because whatever, because you're tired or the system's not working or whatever it is, whatever bullshit is that you're subscribing to, the reason that in your mind you're allowing yourself to be vindicated for not stepping up and stepping in, then you're teaching those kids that people won't be there for them. You're teaching those kids that at the end of the day, they're kind of fucked. They're on their own. They got to figure this out. And maybe they're 9, they're 10, they're 12, they're 16, they're 23, whatever age they are. Don't let them think that they're alone. It's one of the greatest challenges I teach youth all the time is reminding them that they're not alone, to reach out, to get support. And so you're one of those support people. And so I'm reverse engineering this and I'm saying to you, you be the goddamn support that they need. And you do that by building confidence, and you find out what fires them up. You find out what makes them excited to be alive, excited to show up, excited to be a part of. And you give them opportunity to bring those gifts to the table. That's how you stoke the fire. That's how you allow them. You celebrate the gifts they bring. Stop bashing the shit out of them because they didn't achieve a certain score or a certain number based on some archaic system that's 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years old. Support them by building confidence in who they are. And that's your job. Find out what fills them up. And then stoke the fire and celebrate the shit out of the stuff that they love to do. It's your job. You signed up for this. You signed up for it. If you can't make it to another season, then at least finish this season. Finish what you signed up for. These kids have enough rejection, enough challenge, and enough struggle going on in their lives. They don't need another person bowing down or backing in or backing out on them because, you know, that person was a little tired or they had some stuff going on and they didn't really want to handle the politics and they couldn't really deal with the struggles in this situation. Come on, man up or woman up. You go and get the support. Lean on people that are going to help you get through it, but don't you fucking dare give up. Don't you give in. Just because it's the easy thing for you to do. It's your job to step up. Step up, stoke that fire, and you watch how these kids grow. You watch how they thrive. You watch how they show up with abundance like you've never, ever seen before. And here's the last thing I'm going to say is, you might be the only person, you might be the last person who has the opportunity to stoke that fire. You might be the last person. You might be the last swing of the bat that they've made their mind up that they're going to go for, that can stand up and show them that they're worthy, and show them that someone's going to be there for them and someone is going to put the time and effort in. This might be their last shot. You make sure, if it is, that you do everything you can do to make that shot a big one. Have a phenomenal day. Booyah.